Stocks versus crypto. Welcome to the Fiscal Philosophy YouTube channel. This is, for some reason, a debate in the investing world. What's the better thing to invest your money into? Stocks or cryptocurrencies? Well, I definitely have some thoughts on that. And they came out during a very frank and I think blunt, but also detailed and insightful discussion that we had on Discord about this very topic very recently. So I'm going to share that with you and maybe offer a few minor elaborations and whatnot. So here's the start of the conversation. So first off, dude comes straight in asking, does anyone know if of any resources or teachers for crypto investing? So, no shade to the question necessarily. We're obviously a financial YouTube channel and a financial Discord, and a lot of people are out there talking about crypto. So of course, people are going to have questions. One person answers, buy Bitcoin, forget you ever had cash, and hope that you don't immediately lose it. And yeah, that's funny, but there's a kernel of truth to that for sure. My own, I kind of come out hot out the gate here. Crypto teachers are mostly just a bunch of grifters and scammers. I say buy productive assets, not ish coins that produce no economic value. And then I offer the comparison between Bitcoin or Coca-Cola. Basically, I say, let's say, for example, you buy shares of Coca-Cola. We can debate if it's a great investment or not at today's price, because there are known values, right? We know what their revenue was in the last 12 months. We know what their cash flows were on that revenue. We know their margins. We know what some reasonable projections for growth might be on Coca-Cola. So anyway, I then go on to tell the gentleman that, I've challenged crypto bulls in the past to tell me in a similar and understandable way what makes crypto a good investment or not, right? Like, what tells you if a specific crypto coin is a good investment? And generally speaking, what they'll give me is a bunch of word salad that means nothing. And, honestly, it comes off as complete gibberish and made up for the sake of basically coping and making people feel as though they have some control or understanding. And I also said that the more complicated something needs to be in order to understand it, the more room there is for deception and fraud, and the less worthwhile it will tend to be as an investment for the average person. For example, should the average person be investing in credit default swaps, like the kind that caused the economy to implode back in 2008, 2009? I don't think so, because they're extremely complicated and there's a lot of room for chicanery. And of course, best bro Ryan Dengler comes in with crypto isn't real man's investing, and I couldn't agree more. From there, I went on to explain that originally it was intended to be a decentralized currency, as in used to exchange for goods and services, not as an investment per se. The money in your checking account, the $4,000 or whatever you have in there, that's not really an investment either. It's just something you have in order to exchange for goods and services throughout the month. And crypto, honestly, in most cases, hasn't really been widely used in that way, not in any real sense. There are, of course, instances where it does get used for that, but usually those are cases where someone needs to basically keep the transaction out of the sight of polite society, basically, to say it one way. And Jonathan, who runs another Discord channel based around finances, he threw in this fun little Instagram story of somebody using the waste heat from their crypto mining operation to heat the water in their indoor bathhouses, which doesn't really explain why anyone should be interested in Bitcoin, but it was kind of a nifty and creative engineering thing. Our original question asker watches the video, says they saw the video, but they don't really understand it. And that's okay. So here's where I think we actually start to get into the actual heart of the problem. So our original question asker says, I'm just seeing the upsides are insane and I want in. Okay. And I just ask, I use a little bit of epistemology here. I ask, what upsides? Do you mean the price moving up a lot? Yeah, it's like doubled in the last year almost in value, he says. And I, explain price and value are not necessarily the same thing. And I ask him what the value is based on. And he says, I have absolutely no idea. I don't know the difference between price and value, honestly. So that right there is an issue, right? So I asked if the gentleman actually watches my videos because I think the fact that there's a disconnect between price and value is one of the core aspects of my very particular investing style. And I say, I'm not giving him a hard time. It's a real question. And I asked him if he roughly understands how we value stocks, because that's what we discuss on this channel. And he says, I do. I do watch the videos, but doesn't understand beyond the fact it's based on demand. But then, I explained to him that's price. Price is based on supply and demand. And so then I switch it up and ask a different question, which is, do you think you can overpay for an investment? Where he then responds, yeah, then I've got no clue to the first part. But then when he reads do you think you can overpay for an investment? He says, yes. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference between price and value. If you can overpay for an investment, then price and value must be different. So here I give him credit because he answered yes to the fact you can overpay for an investment, then that means we're in agreement that price and value are different. I let him know and reminded him about the basic discounted cash flow model I sometimes use in the videos. The premise there is, of course, that a business will basically be worth the future cash flow it can generate. Of course, you apply the discount rate to get your desired annual return and account for the time value of money. And there's nuances. For example, how you want to factor in the balance sheet for different businesses. Some businesses you may weigh more towards the balance sheet or book value as your preferred value metric. But basically, at the end of the day, when you're buying stocks, these represent companies, corporations, businesses. There's an income stream that you expect to get in the future. There are assets on a balance sheet. There's hopefully cash in the bank. There are liabilities to weigh that against, and possibly future growth. You can look at all that and decide what you think all of that is worth. Crypto, on the other hand, strings of code on a blockchain. Closest comparison in the real world, I would say, is gold or silver. More can be mined, but it's basically a thing that can be used as currency, potentially, or basically just sit there, right? A bar of gold doesn't produce a stream of cash flow. It just sits there. Supply and demand may change the price depending on certain factors, but it's not really an investment in the same way as a stock like Apple or Coca-Cola or anything else. And believing that you can predict the supply and demand swings of a cryptocurrency or of anything else, commodities, gold, whatever, it makes you really just more of a trader. And trading and investing are different. I don't think crypto investing is even a real thing. Like, I don't think it's investing at all. It's basically swing trading or just outright speculation, hoping that somebody else will pay more for it later. And I don't think that really meets the definition of investing the way I use the word. Now, this is probably my favorite part of the conversation. The original asker says, that makes sense. I'm not going to lie. I'm very much a novice, and my investing habits are holding me back. So I've been trying to look into how to allocate assets, thought crypto would be good. That sounds confusing and really unpredictable, honestly. And I just replied with, I challenge you to watch any crypto video by, for example, Stockmo or any big channel. tell me what they're saying makes any sense compared to what I'm saying right here, right now. You won't be able to. It's absolute pandering word salad. He says, then, the greatest line in history: I follow Stockmo, and I'm always confused. And I sort of chimed in with the fact that that's because what is being said in the videos on the topic by that particular person, it's a lot of words that say absolutely nothing, convey no coherent nor useful information, and remind him that I don't sell anything, any courses or whatnot on this channel. I do this purely to share my journey and my opinions. Maybe I'd consider selling merch or something down the line if I got popular, but I don't really sell a course or my knowledge. I just, I'm here to share my opinions and my journey. He says, yeah, that's how I feel about literally so many people, and I'm grateful I've been strategizing around MPW because of you. Now, granted, I don't think people should be going out and buying MPW specifically because of me. I think there's a lot more, on your own type research you should be doing. You should be listening to the earnings calls. You should be reading the financials, etc. Don't just do it because a guy on YouTube told you that they're doing it. And I told him, even if I'm great at picking stocks, I could be wrong on a bunch of them. My hope is that anyone watching might begin to understand how I'm thinking and how my thinking has progressed over time. Basically evolved from trying to be handed picks by others to understanding how to think about it in order to start making your own picks. I also told him, if you find yourself confused at a certain point, there's literally nothing wrong with buying VEO or SPY, which both follow the S&P 500, or VT, which follows the whole world stock market. It's work sifting through stocks that you don't want to find ones that you do. It's really, honestly, for a lot of people, it's probably not worth the effort. We ended this chapter of the Discord conversation on what I think is a positive note. The original asker says, I'm just trying to do better than I am now. I've got 80% of my money in T-bills. I invest like a grandma. And I just went on to say, hey, the return on my time probably isn't worth it purely from a financial perspective, even if I beat the market a little bit. And, our guy Redwood comes in, longtime viewer, longtime Discord member. We all started as a novice at one point. There are some good people here, and we can all learn from each other. It's great that you're willing to learn. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the moral of the story. If you want to participate in conversations like this one, I encourage you to comment, subscribe, and join us on that Discord, link in the description. I really like engaging with you all there. And like Redwood said, it's really great when you're willing to learn. And there are a lot of good people here. And I do think we all have something that we can bring to the table to learn from each other. Have a wonderful Friday, everyone, and happy holidays.